Welcome back to another episode of Whip Media TV. I'm your host, Whip Media Mickey, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do to the channel. Subscribe right now. Join the Vibe Tribe. Let's get it. On today's episode, I cover the Hip Hop 48 Laws of Power, Part 2. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. To crush your enemy partially means that they will eventually recover and seek revenge. Ultimately, you can only gain peace and serenity if your enemies cease to exist. If you manage to remove all of your opponent's options, then they will have no choice but to bend to your will. By giving them nothing to negotiate with and no room to maneuver, you will have crushed them. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. The more present
and
you are,
I really want to tell you that I truly believe.
Create an air of scarcity around yourself to increase your perceived value.
Let's make
if you
it not
currently
cool
exist within an established group, intermittently withdraw so that others talk about you and admire you more. To do this effectively, you must learn when is the right time to withdraw. In doing so, you force their respect by inadvertently threatening your absence for good. Once you return from your absence, it will appear as if you have been resurrected, and people will be relieved to see you again. Law number 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Humans are creatures of habit who look for familiar patterns in the behaviors of others. By acting unpredictably, your opponents will tire themselves out by trying to predict and analyze your moves. This means occasionally striking without warning. See, when you act predictably, you give others power over you. If you act surprisingly, they will feel that they don't understand you and will be intimidated. Similarly, if you find yourself the underdog, using a strategy of unpredictable moves can confuse your enemies into making a tactical blunder. Law number 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. If you decide to isolate yourself from your enemies and the world at large, you cut yourself off from valuable information. This makes you vulnerable to attack. See, it's always better to mingle amongst people, as you are better protected in a crowd. Because humans are social creatures, power comes with social interaction. Therefore, to become powerful, you must place yourself at the center of things. Activity should revolve around you. Resist the urge to retreat when things feel uncertain. Instead of turning inward, focus on seeking out old allies and forcing yourself into new social circles. Law number 19. Know who you're dealing with. Don't offend the wrong person. Choose your opponents wisely. There are some people that once defeated will spend the rest of their lives seeking revenge. Consequently, it pays not to offend the wrong person. The skill of correctly measuring people is the most important with regard to getting and maintaining power. Be sure to know everything about a person before you work with them. However, don't rely on your instincts to get an understanding of a person and never trust appearances. Watch your target over a long period of time to get a truer picture of their nature. Law number 20. Don't commit to anyone. Make sure the only cause you commit to is yourself. Maintain your independence at all costs. This allows you to play people off against each other. When you hold back from joining a cause, you create a sense of respect because you appear untouchable. You gain a reputation for independence. Further, do not commit to anyone. Stay out of petty fights and squabbles. Slight interest, but let others do fighting while others watch and wait. Often it could be a good tactic to stir up quarrels between two parties and then gain power by acting as the go-between. Law number 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Appear dumber than you mark. No one enjoys feeling stupid. Consequently, a great trick is to make your opponents feel smarter than you. Once they believe themselves to be more intelligent, they will never suspect that you have any ulterior motives. Law number 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. Surrender before you are about to be defeated. This buys more time to plot your revenge and to torment your conqueror. By surrendering, you deny them from satisfaction of destroying you. In doing so, you make the act of surrender a tool of power. By yielding, you gain the upper hand because you lull your opponents into believing they have defeated you. Even as you plot their downfall, this confuses your opponents and means they are unlikely to act aggressively against you. Law number 23. Concentrate your forces. Conserve your energies by focusing them all into a single source of power. When looking for such a source, identify a single spring that will sustain you for a long time to come. You gain more power by finding a singular rich source than by flitting between more shallow sources of power. Power exists in concentrated form. In any organization, power will emanate from a small group of people who are holding all the strings. Consequently, power is like oil. You only need to strike it once to assure yourself a lifetime of wealth and power. Hip Hop 48 Laws of Power, Part 2.